Hey guys, welcome back. It is now 2016, and as I shared with all of you many times during the video blogs, and if we had some interaction here at the gym, you know that 2015 was a ridiculously challenging year for me and the family. On one side, losing my mom, my dad, my high school soccer coach, pushed me to, all within a couple of months, pushed me to the brink of something that I've never experienced before. On the other end of the spectrum, getting married, having baby Thor, and buying the gym represents something that's about as extremely as far away as I could experience emotionally. Now, one thing's for certain, all of that is changing me fundamentally. And how that's going to show up, I quite candidly don't know exactly yet. But I do know this: it doesn't change the mission that I have personally for the gym, and it doesn't change how the coaching staff is going to approach what it is we're doing here at CFLA. And really, what is fundamental and what is really important is that we're really looking at the development of this place as a school of mastery. And that conversation of mastery can take a lot of different elements into consideration. For example, we can just talk about the physical. And the physical, in many ways, is the easiest to sort of explain. I look at the movements that we perform, or the way a human being moves, and I really only know of 7 different ways that the human being moves. We run, we jump, we squat, we push and we press, we pull, we flex and extend, and we twist and we rotate. And that's really about it. And in CrossFit, we sometimes combine all of those things. And each one of those elements, a masterful mover could just spend his or her life dedicating themselves just to mastering one of those movements. Yet we expect ourselves to do sometimes a combination of 3 or 4 of those with a weight or a dumbbell or a wall ball or a sandbag or any of that. And that's a tall order if we're just coming in and doing this thing 3 to 5 hours a week. Sometimes 6 if you're getting busy with it. But really, it takes a lot of dedicated practice to become masterful at just one of these things. So that's one. That's what I call the 10% part of the conversation. Then there's the other part, this mental part of mastery, and how that relates to what it is we're doing here. Well, to me, it's just a matter of self-awareness as one develops their knowledge, and they're bridging that self-awareness knowledge to the application of these 7 fundamental movements. And sometimes it's appropriately applied in the execution of the movements. In other words, you're doing something super sophisticated when you're able to do it, or you're doing something super sophisticated when you haven't developed sort of the requisite skills, the foundational skills, the basic skills. And every masterful practice always comes back to what? The basics. So we're always going to be dedicated to the basics here. And while other fitness trends are going to concern themselves with some other things that might not be about any of this, we're going to stay committed to these 7 basic movements being critical. But so will our evolution of ourselves and our ability to know and discern when we're going to apply greater skill sets, because we're going to have that knowledge base. Then there's this emotional component, and that to me is where the bounty in this conversation of developing a school of mastery is. And what we're really talking about in some ways, or could be considered a part of the conversation, is how we connect our feelings and our emotions to our physical expression. For me personally, this boils down to consistency, a consistent physical practice. But it also comes down to knowing when to shoot those emotional bullets and when to save them. I also think that a lot of it has to deal with knowing when I'm in student mode and when I'm in go or kill mode. And those are vastly different emotional experiences. And what I really care about is having a student body that gets like, oh, it's game day, it's on. And then I also really care about us being a student body, that, oh, it's a practice day, it's time to learn and try to work on some of these basics. And sometimes it might be boring, sometimes it might be exciting, because you get a little nuanced breakthrough that you didn't get if you were just going full speed. At the same time, sometimes you can get things going full speed that if you're only focusing on just being super analytical and worried about it always being, just right, you're going to miss the experience of going for it. And in that breadth, that wide breadth, is this long-term approach to the development of ourselves as masterful practitioners. And it really fundamentally comes down to that consistency and that dedication. So I hope that we aren't a student body that's like, this year I'm going to go do this, but rather the one that just shows up and does it. And I believe the student body to be that. We do have the Whole Life Challenge coming up in a couple weeks, and that's a great opportunity to kind of hone in on a couple of things that we're practicing and developing. And we've got a very evolved population when it comes to the Whole Life Challenge, because it was developed here. By the way, today is the last day to get the early discount code. But I hope as we enter 2016 that we continue to do the things that we do so well, and that's have fun, practice well, consistently, love each other, and continue along with these evergreen concepts of self-mastery and communal teamwork. Love you guys as always. I can't wait to spend time with y'all in 2016. Peace.